All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rechak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth. This is Brother Quad from the DC camp, coming back at you with another lesson. And I'm entitled this Temptations, which that comes from the Hebrew word Masah, a Ma, a Sa, and a Ha. Masah meaning despair or test. You know, that's the root. Despair, testing, proving, or trial. And it says the definition is to make or to try, make trial of, test for the purpose of ascertaining his quality. All right. And that's the whole purpose of temptations, man. You know, the word ascertain means to find something out for certain, make sure of. And that's what the Lord wants to see. So we've been put into these temptations and these trials to see if we will still follow him or not. It says, or what he thinks, or how he will behave himself. Okay? Yeah, so once you try it, you got to see how a man's true character is, man. You know? You see what a man's true character is when, you know, he's tempted. Because you could say all these things, like a lot of people say they're not going to do this and not going to do that. Hey, the main temptation we talking about here, since this is the year of Karagma, is the mark of the beast, the chip. People can say they're not going to take it now, but when they actually tempted during that hour, and they not going to be able to eat, and their families is crying and dying right in front of them, are you still going to take it when the Lord said don't do it? You know, a lot of men say they're not going to commit adultery, but what you going to do when that woman, that fine-ass woman, is tempting you, man? You know? That's the true sense of your character once you actually put through that trial. Okay, it says in a good sense, in a bad sense, to test one maliciously, craftily, to put to the proof his feelings or judgments. Exactly, you know, and someone that's void of understanding, void of judgment, is reprobate. So I see if people really reprobate, because you got a lot of people out here that's faking the funk, so to speak, man. You know. The third definition is to try or test one's faith, virtue, character by enticement to sin. So that's what it is, by enticement to sin, to solicit sin, excuse me, to solicit to sin, to tempt of the temptations of the devil after the Old Testament usage of the Most High to inflict evils upon one in order to prove his character and the steadfastness of his faith, as he did with Job. Okay? And the results of this test is going to determine your true identity. It's going to determine, are you of the elect of the Most High, or are you just another Israelite? Okay? All right, so let's get the first scripture that I want is 1 Peter, let me see. This is 1 Peter 6. Salakia. Not 1 Peter 6. I'm tripping. 1 Peter 1. This is 1 Peter 1. In verse 6, it says, wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations. Well, let me look up that word heaviness. Because you remember the first definition to temptation was despair. The word heaviness is a Greek word.
Strong's G 3076. Lupeo.
To make sorrowful, to affect with sadness, cause grief, to throw into sorrow, to grieve, offend, to make one uneasy, cause him to scruple. Yeah, you're not in a comfortable ass situation, man. You know, hey, it's deep in America. Through this women's empowerment movement, you see all these women, loose women, you know, and they don't have they revealing, so to speak. They're not very chaste, okay? But yet, you can't have more than one woman according to their standards. You know? Or you in a low state. So for the most part, you can't get a lot of women because you don't have a lot of money. That's very tempting to you. But then the main ones that want to deal with you is the ones that got men. I mean, this is the tempting. This is this world that we in, man, and it's meant to tempt you, to test your character. That's why you gotta understand that everything is spiritual. All right. So that's what the word heaviness was, through manifold temptations or many temptations. It says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua HaMashiach. You see? Yeah, and that, because we got faith in the Lord, and we got faith in what he said is the right things to do and the wrong things to do. Okay? And after these trials that we're going through, we're going to be found, Lord's willing, if we pass this test, we're going to be found unto praise and honor at the glory of Yahushua HaMashiach, which means if you pass those tests, okay, then he going to crown you. Okay? It says, whom having not seen ye love, in whom though now ye see him not, yet believing ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. Right. You know, because you want to be a part of the men that scripture say that he has 7,000 men that have not bowed the knee to Baal, man. And this is the main thing that was plaguing us from the beginning, man. You know? So these actions, the Most High intentionally put us into this situation, you know, or is used to both prove and excite our faith, man, of his people. He also tries us by certain calamities that you go through to see if you still got faith. Brother lose his job, okay? What are you still going to have that faith in him? Now, it's not, the Lord ain't tempting you. It's about who you were already. He'll use the Satan to tempt you, but it's about if your character already had it. Because at the end of the day, it's only 144,000 men. And those are the men that was chosen from the beginning to have that faith. So when you're going through these things, it's going to reveal who was who. This world we live in is surrounded by good and evil. Moses himself, he said that I set before you life and death. Choose life. Okay? Now you got to understand, the scriptures say that the flesh, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. You know? So this flesh is going to cling to the things of this world. But you have to have your mind consciously, constantly on the Lord. So it's good and evil, you know, good and bad. We have to constantly choose between them, man. You got to constantly make decisions, man. Discern and judge what's the right way. Because, you know, they always say that everybody knows what's good and it's common knowledge what's good and bad. Well, it's ultimately it's not. You know, that's only given to a certain amount of people that has that judgment. Okay? So, yeah, when you tempted, you have a desire to do something, you know, that's, most of the time it's wrong or unwise to do, you know. So you being put through a thing or a course of action that makes you or you're attracted to tempt. And what are we in? We in that whore, the well-favored harlot, which causes everyone to go after her, man, you know. You being you being allured, so to speak, man. But let me get this. Well, since I mentioned the whore, let me get this. All right? Because you got to understand. This is the same thing that was happening during the garden, man. Matter of fact, before I get that, let me get this. This is Genesis 3. And I'll start from the top. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have the Most High said, ye shall not eat of the tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High have said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the woman said and the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. It says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and that's the point, it said it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So that thing that was pleasant unto the eyes, you know, and she thought it was going to make her wise, just like women empowerment movement. You know, a lot of women they want to. You see it now. They want to do what men do, you know, instead of just playing the roles that the Lord created for them. And that's what that fruit was. It was actual philosophy, man. It's a way of thinking which would cause you to a certain course of actions, man. You know, it says, right. I want to get the word. Where was it? Pleasant. That word pleasant is desire. So it calls you desire it. And guess what? They was presented with an option. You can have these things, but you can't do this thing. And then he presented them with this way is going to be better. And that's what's going to happen with the chip, man. You already know that you can't take that chip. But then the serpent is going to say, yeah, you can take it. You know? Now you're going to be presented with that option. That was pleasant. It was desired. To desire, to covet, take pleasure in, to delight in. All right. That's what I want to get now. Let's get that harlot. The well-favored harlot. But let me, you know, in Proverbs, it was talking about the woman. That woman that tries to get. That's why the scriptures uses these what is it called? Metaphors, man. You know? I thought it was verse 20. Right. This is Proverbs 6, verse 23. Because remember, you got to constantly have your mind on the Lord. It says, Proverbs 6, verse 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. As I said already, Moses gave us, or from the Most High, he gave it to Moses, and Moses gave it to us, the way of life, the way of truth and the way of death, good and evil. All right? And that's what these commandments is. The Lord is instructing you in the way of righteousness, and the world is telling you anything that's not according to the scriptures is the ways of death, man. The scripture says if you speak not according to this world, then there's no light in you. So what is the light is the commandment. And anything that which the world preaches is outside of this word, then it's death, man. You know? Verse 24 says, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Right. So that strange woman is these different doctrines, man, these different philosophies. And like I said, it's a metaphor of you see it. What's the main temptations of a lot of men is these women, man. You know? So that word flattery is chalaka. It says portion, parcel of ground, smooth parts, smoothness, flattery. And they're not really giving me a good definition. Flattery, let's just look up the actual definition. It says excessive and insincere praise given especially to further one's own interest. Right. Because ultimately, it's not for you. It's not for your interest, man. You know? That strange woman is trying to get you, mainly the devil, the wicked is trying to get you to go astray from the Lord and have you to worship and serve them. Okay? Verse 25, it says, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. And that's what happens, man. Adulterers, they just wanted, they got their husband is away, and they just want to do wickedness, man. You know, they for their own pleasure. And the scriptures say a woman that lives from pleasure is dead while she liveth. But here we talking about these philosophies and these other temptations, okay? Hey, that's why, man, the mark of the beast is just a philosophy. You know, you thinking that way is going to lead you to error, man. You know? But this world, everything, matter of fact, let me get this. This is 1 John. 1 John 2 and 15. It says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Because the way the Most High got it set up, he's away. Remember, the Most High hid his face, man. You know? At the end of it, they're gonna say, surely the Most High is a power that hides himself. The Most High ultimately controls everything, but you don't see him. It's no proof. That's why this is the trial of our faith, and we haven't seen him with bodily eyes. You don't really. It's not the signs. The signs of the Most High is very subtle, man. You know, it's very spiritual. You can't really see it with the naked eye. So he's not really in this world right now. This is a godless ass world. You know, so that's why he said, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And this is hence why he gave the world into the wicked, man. You know, it's all for a purpose. He's not doing it for no reason, man. You know, all things work together for them that fear the Lord, man. You know, and which is those men is going to be the elect. And now the elect is being revealed through these things, man. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, what we just read in Genesis 3 and 6, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. And that's what you should know when you have good judgment. You know, that this world, this is the fake world, man. You know, this is a damn simulation, so to speak. This is not real. What's real is what the Lord said, okay? This is just tempting you. You just, hey, you got to overcome it. You're going to overcome by the Spirit, but only the ones with the Spirit is going to be able to overcome. It's this saying, well, I looked it up. It's something called contemptus mundi, all right? And it says, let me look it up real quick. The definition, it says, contemptus mundi, the contempt of the world, and worldly concerns is a theme in the intellectual life of both classical antiquity and of Christianity, both in its mystical vein and its ambivalence towards secular life. That figures largely in the Western world's history of ideas and inculating a turn of mind that will lead to a state of serenity. Oh, it says, and inculating a turn of mind that will lead to a state of serenity, untrammeled by distracting material appetites and feverish emotional connections. Okay, so pretty much whatever that contemptuous is CONTEMPTUS and then MUNDI. Okay, it's that mindset of rejecting this world, so to speak, man. You know. Not being distracted by the material appetites, because the distractions is right in your face, man. You gotta have the spiritual eye to look past all those things. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Baruch, the 6th chapter, or some scriptures might say letter of Jeremiah or Jeremy. All right? But it's Baruch, the 6th chapter, and it reads, the first verse, it says, a copy of an epistle which Jeremy sent unto them which were to be led captives into Babylon by the king of the Babylonians, to certify them as it was commanded of him, as it was commanded him of the Most High. You know? So these things were sent to certify. You know? These things was us being in this situation was sent to certify us. Now let's look up the word certify. Okay? Hold up. Brother just hit me up. Give me a second, Salaki. All right. But like I said, we put in these situations to certify us, and it's going to go right with the word, the definition we already read. Certify means to attest or confirm in a formal statement, officially recognized as possessing certain qualifications or meaning. Okay? So us being certified and you in these situations, because matter of fact, I gotta get this scripture. This is Judges 2. What is it? Yeah. Judges 2 and verse 2. It says, and ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of this land. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorns in your sides, and their God shall be a snare unto you. Now the Most High, all these nations, he told us to you know, pretty much get them out of your land, man. They're not supposed to be around us. Why? Because we're supposed to be a separate people, a holy people. Now, what is America known as? The melting pot. You know, well, all together, everybody is one. You know, coexist. So you got all these different religions and all these nations, and you see Jake going after it. You see Jake going after these other women. You know, the women going after these other men. The word, damn, what was that? The word, I wanted to get thorns, and then I wanted to get, or the, oh, that's not. It doesn't give me the definition to thorns, but the word snare, it says bait, lure, or snare, and the word is mawak, mawakash. So bait, lure, or snare, and that's what this world is, man. You know, you had to be put in this situation to see who is who. It's just simple. Okay? And we being the elect is the ones that's going to be certified, man. And this word right now is teaching us that. Okay? This is and that's why I said when the Lord comes, you're going to be found with honor. But it starts now. This is Romans 13 in verse 13. It says, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. Okay? And you putting on Yahushua HaMashiach, you put on this word, man. It says, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. And what Yahushua do? Yahushua lived a perfect life, man. You know? Because what? He knew that this wasn't his time. This wasn't his world. This world had none of him. And this world is temporary, man. So you got to have that mindset. 1 Corinthians 10 and verse 6. Well, matter of fact, because, I mean, I'm going to start from the top, because this is when we was actually tempted, man, in the wilderness. It says, verse 10 and 1, it says, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach, Yahushua, or Hamashiach. Well, yeah. It says, but with many of them the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. So we was actually put in the wilderness to try us, man. And the Lord wasn't pleased with many, the majority. And they was overthrown in the wilderness. And the same things is going to happen now, man. The Lord ain't going to be pleased. He's not pleased with a lot of these jakes, man. A lot of these jakes going to have to die first, man. It says, now these things were our example, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. See? So all these scriptures was written for our learning, man. But you got to see it spiritually now. The same things is happening. You got to crucify or kill your flesh to this world, man. If it's not in line with the Lord. In the kingdom, we're going to get everything, man. Because we put it to the side for the Lord, man. This is Galatians 5 verse 24 says, and they that are Hamashiachs have crucified the flesh with their affections and lusts. So if you of the Lord's, if you of the elect, if you of the Israel of the Most High, you crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts, man, of the flesh, man. It says, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. So a lot of people, they tempted by vainglory. You know? They want to be seen as somebody already in this world, man. Because if you going according to the Lord, you're not going to be seen as nobody. But that's a temptation unto some. You know? But the ones who is his, they're going to crucify themselves to this world. Okay? And the Lord knows how to get us out of that. As a matter of fact, that's 2 Peter's the 2nd chapter. This is 2 Peter 2. Oh, I think. Yep. This is 2 Peter 2, verse 8. And this is what the righteous man. It says, for that righteous man dwelling among them and seeing and hearing vex his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. Yeah, because we know what these people doing is off, man. So if you righteous, it's vexing to you. It says, the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptation and to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished. And that's what we're seeing now, man. Lord willing, we be the righteous that the Lord going to deliver out. Why? As he said, because you have kept in the word of my patience, I will also deliver you from the hour of temptation. And the rest is going to be reserved to the day of judgment to be punished. Because right now, the Most High, he letting everything play out. Right now, if you spiritual, you can see who's who right now for the most part, because at the end of the day, everybody's still going to be tried. Then you really going to see who's who. But right now, and through these little temptations that's going on, a lot of people are already failing, man. You know? Yeah. So what else? I only want a couple of more. Hey, man, once we got this word, man, that's what's guiding us, man. What the scriptures say, they followed the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, and to another they will not answer. They will not follow. Okay? Titus 2 and 9, it says, exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters. And who is our master? Yahushua Mashiach, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushua. It says, and to please them well in all things, not answering again, not purloining, but shewing all good fidelity, faithfulness, that they may adorn the doctrine of the Most High, our Savior, in all things. Yeah, because we is the Lord's wife. We're not going to be the one. The scriptures say that the ones, they was the virgins, man. You know, they wasn't defiled with women. Where I'm at. Yeah, verse 11, it says, for the grace of the Most High that bringeth salvation have appeared to all men, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. Okay? So that's what it's saying. It's clearly telling you that this world ain't our world, man. So you got to deny this world. Okay? Because at one point, matter of fact, let me get it. Ephesians, the 2nd chapter. This is Ephesians 2, verse 1. It says, and you have he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in times past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. And who is the children of disobedience? Is these jakes that don't listen to this word. Because it said that this gospel was revealed unto all men. You know? This word was revealed unto all men. And we used to, but so they still disobedient, but we used to walk according to the course of this world when we didn't know any better. But we actually seen the light. They couldn't comprehend the light. It says, verse 3, among whom also we had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. Now, a lot of us, we went off according to our own minds, man. You know? If you real with yourself, all of us did. For all have sinned. You know? A lot of us, we still did a lot of things that was according to the scriptures. The spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we the sons of the Lord. But we still went off as well, man. Okay? And this put us straight. This is the standard. It's the guide. Okay? But we was once doing these things. But now, we Lord's willing. Okay? What's that? And I'm going to close on this. We doing the right things, man. This is 2nd Esdras 2 and verse 44. It says, so I asked the angel and said, sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive psalms. All right. So we put off the mortal clothing. That's the point. You know. And now you put on the immortal, which is just this word, man. Okay? So that's what this temptation is all about. And the scriptures say, as a matter of fact, I gotta get it. Because, hey, remember, Yahweh Shai was tempted of Satan, and he offered Yahweh Shai this whole world, and Yahweh Shai didn't take it. You know? Yahweh Shai didn't take it, man. He said, man shall not live on bread alone. That's why, and that's why the scriptures is deep, man. It's going to come down to this word only, man. And if they try to do something outside of this word, you don't take it. This is James 1 verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High, for the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Okay? So, hey, the Most High is not tempting you. It's just who you were from the beginning. And you see? He'll have the world to tempt you. He'll have Satan to tempt you. Okay? But ultimately, it comes down to your character. He's not going to force you to, you got these people talking about, well, what if they force you to take the chip? No, man. It's just the hour of temptation. It's causing you to take it. It's going to make you, your flesh is going to want to take it, man. Which is important to fast. It's important to recognize the temptations and things that you're going through now. A lot of these people don't want to go through the straight gate because they want to be comfortable. But ultimately, we're being tempted, man. We going through trials. We got to give up certain things in this world when we walk in this straight gate, man. Teaching this whole truth, all right? So you have every man. I'll read verse 14 again. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Okay, so your own lust is tempting you, man. Like this goddamn this dude who used to watch at our camp, the DC camp. Now he like trannies, man. That's his own lust, man. That ain't nobody else's fault, man. Okay. So, hey, Lord willing, that was an edifying lesson. Until the next one, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakakadash. I want to say shalom.